Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So guys, today I'm going to start my SAP HCM session in English. Okay, so I will not waste a lot of time just going into straight into the topic. Okay, so before going to SAP HCM, you must be aware of how SAP software works. Okay, so SAP, see the architecture of SAP is SAP R3 architecture. It based on three basic layers. Okay, one is database layer, second is application layer, and third is presentation layer. So generally, which screen you see, like if I'm going to log into SAP system from this layer, this is SAP GUI, that is presentation, but you look where you work, okay? And see, this is, if I click here, okay. So this is SAP GUI, okay, where you work. But this software is not installed in my laptop. Okay. So where it is, it's every client have to create in ECC, every client has to create one database server in their one main location. And whatever database server they're going to purchase, that is Microsoft, Oracle, SQL, whatever. Okay. In one location. And see, second layer is application layer, okay, for every locations, geographical locations, and each and every end user has in their laptop or desktop, they need to install presentation server, and their presentation server is connected to their application server, and these application servers are connected to one database server. So whatever you are doing, that going through application server to database server and get stored there, okay. So this is how all the system is connected, okay. All the locations are connected. Whatever you are doing in Mumbai, it is available in Delhi as well. Okay. So if your manager is in Bangalore, so whatever you are doing, my manager is able to check each and everything. So because our data is centralized, so you, okay. And second thing, see, I have made a lot of videos on this. So this is actually, you must be aware, if you are learning SAP SM, you must be aware of how SAP software works and how you work in SAP software as a consultant. Okay. So SAP R3 architecture tells us how SAP software works. It works in three server. One is database server, second is application server, third is presentation server. Okay. So now moving to SAP landscape. So SAP landscape tells us how we as a consultant work in SAP software. Okay. So here also we have three layers. One is development server, second is quality assurance system, third is production server. So this is client's server. Okay. So first thing, we never do any kind of configuration and customization in client's live system. Okay. So each and every, let's say I'm working with IBM or TCS or whatever. So they must be having their own server where we do all the configuration which is required for client system creation. Okay. So we do all kind of configuration in development server. And then when we are done with, see what kind of configuration, let's say configuration, customization, data import, data migration, and see, anything related to client system development, we have to do in development server. And when we are done with all the configuration, then we have to transfer it to second server, that is QoS, that is for quality assurance system, that is for testing servers, testing server. Okay. So one more thing, in development server, only we, consultant, ABAP consultant, basis consultant, functional consultant have access. Okay. But in quality assurance system, client also have access because they have to do testings now. So in quality assurance system, we do testings like model based testing, integrated testing, user acceptance testing, training modules creation, conduct training sessions, and your testing and all. When we are done with all the testing, then we have to transfer the data to client's server. Okay. So from a client server, and after transferring the data to production server, then only your client will able to do the day-to-day task. Okay. One more thing, whatever testing you have done in quality assurance system, so that testings will not transfer to PPRD, only configurations. Okay. If you have done some important end user task there, you have to do again here. Okay. Second thing. So I've told you, let's say we never do any kind of configuration in client's live system. So that's why this TR request is very important thing. Okay. So we have two kind of transport request. One is customizing request. Second is workbench request. So the major difference between these two is, see, whenever we are doing some technical changes in SAP software, let's say we are doing some, let's say for example, here, let's say, fine, this is the tree code, and say, let's say this is the table, okay? And your client says that I don't want PO box number here and name of company too. So actually client want to delete these two fields, and this comes under technical changes in SAP software, okay? So this kind of changes comes under workbench request. We have to save in workbench request folder. Okay. So any kind of technical changes we are making, then we have to save in workbench request. And if we are doing some normal configuration, we are doing normal configuration, then we have to save in customizing request. But there is no problem. Now you don't have to take stress because system detect itself, okay, which kind of change you have made. Okay. So system will give you that folder and you have to save each and every changes. Let's say, for example, you are doing configuration for Gaurav Motors. Okay. So whatever you are doing for Gaurav Motor, that need to be saved in one particular folder. Okay. So let's say as a consultant, if you are working for IBM, you must be working for multiple clients. Okay. Let's say you are doing configuration for Patanjali, you are doing configuration for Bajaj Motors. So you have to save the changes to their particular folder. Okay. So that at the end, we can transfer that changes to completely one folder. We can transfer complete folder at once. Okay. If you don't follow this, so you have to check now where is my changes, where is my change, then you have, then only you have to so it is going to be very messy. Okay. So you have to create folder. Okay. If you're doing normal configuration, for that you have to make one customizing request folder. And if you're doing some technical changes, then you have to do you have to create workbench request and save all these changes into that particular folder. And when you are done with, then you have to release that folder and generate one TR, transport request. Normally we say TR, have you, if I say, let's say, manager, I have told my manager, I have done my all the work. So he will ask me, did you raise the transport request? So after doing each and every configuration, you have to generate transport request and send it to basis consult, so that basis consult can transport that folder to a next level. Let's say might be you want to check that first of quality on a system. If you want to transfer directly to client server, then you have to send here. Okay. So this is transport request. One more thing, that is ASAP methodology. So whatever you are doing, so in SAP ECC, whenever you are implementing, you have to follow ASAP methodology. So realization, it has five phases. Okay. First is project preparation, second is business blueprint, third is realization, fourth is final preparation, and fifth is go live and support. Okay. So see, 3, 4, 5, we have already learned. And see, it is a landscape. Okay. So realization is development, where we do all the configuration, quality assurance system, that is testing, that is final preparation, and go and live, that is PRD. Okay. So here, what I told you, we do all the configuration, but how do we know that what need to be configured in as a system? That requirement we have to take from client. Okay. So we have to follow ASAP methodology. Okay. And see, before going to SAP methodology, there are you must know about role players. So there are three role players. One is client itself, second is SAP itself, third is SAP service provider. Okay, so role player client who purchase SAP software, SAP India Private Limited, from where my client has purchased SAP software. And see, SAP never do any kind of implementation by their own. Okay, they have so many service provider like SAP global partner like IBM, TCS, Infosys, who do implementation globally. They have local partner like British Softec, GenFocus, Mawai. There are lots of local their implementation service provider. They do implementation locally for India only. Okay. And if your client want to do, they don't have not that much of budget so that they can afford IBM or like local partners. So they can go for their freelancer. They can hire freelancer who can configure system for them. Okay. Or they can hire their own consultant. Okay. So these are the role play and system. So whoever is doing implementation for my client, they have to follow ASAP methodology. In ASAP methodology, we have five phases: project preparation, business blueprint, realization, final preparation, and go live and support. Okay. So we will be learning only these three because I have already told you, development, quality assurance system, PRD in landscape. Okay. So when we got any kind of project, so what we do, we first do research about client, and based on my research about results from research about client, we book our resources, we create our team, we do team orientation and all. Okay, and we need one team from client side as well. Okay, so whom we get requirement from client, na? So we must need some na, authorized people who can give their na, requirements. Okay, from client. And second thing, we need 100% support from client because see what we are doing. SAP is a blank software. Okay, and we have to configure that system as per their requirement. If they don't give us 100% support, they don't give us requirement, so how will we do configuration? Na? So that's why we need 100% support from there. If they don't give 100% support, we will not be able to configure the system 100% efficiently. Okay. Then the fifth one is charter creation. Okay, this is the contract kind of thing. We have to sign this charter from our side, project manager, from their side, project manager. They will sign. We have to mention each and everything, even till go live date. Each and everything is mentioned there. Okay. After signing this, we will start creating business blueprint. Okay, for business blueprint creation, we need BPO, that is business process owner. Okay, he's the person who signed that charter. Okay, he's our first point of contact. Whenever somebody is not giving support, okay, we can directly call them. Or if he's a very big stakeholder, okay, then he will assign us their subordinate so that we can connect with them, and they will arrange seminar and connects. And on seminar, we go to that particular client and take their requirement. And based on those requirement, we have to create two tables. One is as is report or reports, as is report and to be report. So what as is report tells, it shows us client's actual business requirement. So based on their requirement, which we get from the client, we have to create one as is report, which shows us what is client's actual requirement. And based on this business requirement, we have to create one to be report parallelly. So that to be report shows us based on this actual requirement, but we have to configure an SAP system. Okay. And second is gap analysis. Okay, sometimes client says some requirement that is custom requirement, which is not default available in SAP system. So that we have to go to our ABAP consultant, basis consultant, and consult with them. It is possible. Then we have to make them some custom things. Okay, and we'll fill that gaps. Okay, and after that we will create one business blueprint and will send to client. See, this is your business blueprint. And based on this business blueprint, we will going to do configuration for you. Okay. If you want some changes, please tell us right now. Okay. So if client sign it, we have to take sign off from client now. So after getting sign off from client, we have to transfer the data to our consultant so that they can start with work. Okay. So this is very important business blueprint. That's why I'm covering this in SAP HCM sessions. Okay. So our next step is, our very first step is to create enterprise structure. Okay. So I will cover it in next video. Okay. So this is the introduction for SAP HCM, how SAP software works, how we as a consultant, we work in SAP software, and which methodology we use. So I have no, briefly I've discussed this, but if you want to learn this you can search all this thing in Google. You will be getting lengthy each and every documents related to ASAP methodology. Okay, but why I taught you, because the functional consultant, you must be after doing this course or after getting certification, you must be going as a functional consultant, and functional consultant is a first phase for client. They don't know who is ABAP consultant, who is basis consultant, who is functional consultant. Okay, so they will ask you how SAP software works, how their data is secured. Okay, so you must be aware of each and every. So you can answer. You can't say that I am not the authorized person. Somebody will else will come and give you answer. Okay, so please go through SAP landscape, SAP R3 architecture on basic level. Okay, and this is ASAP methodology is very important. You must be aware of that. You have to learn each and everything. I have taught you each and everything. If you want to learn it in Hindi, I have already covered this topic in Hindi, SAP HCM Hindi playlist. You can go there. And here in English, I have already told you. Okay. So guys, our next step is to create enterprise structure that I will cover in next step. Okay. So I will not waste any time. And please guys, if you like this video, please do subscribe. And if you have some suggestion, okay, you please do let me know. I will create some videos on that. Okay. So guys, bye-bye. Take care. Hope you like this video and keep tuning for my next video related to SAP HCM in English.